Welcome, everybody. My name is Austin Silver. For those of you who are new to ACAP or to myself, I really appreciate you being here. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. It's the middle of the week already. What we're going to do today is go over as quickly and concisely as possible some of the ideas that were discussed on Monday's live stream. So if you missed that, you're going to want to go to the ACAP YouTube channel. We're going to be doing this every week for the rest of this month. And then each month, 8CAP brings on new speakers. It's a ton of value here. So make sure you go to the 8CAP YouTube channel, subscribe, and that way you'll see every time that they go live, you'll see them at the top of your feed. So you know you can join in that trading session. So today, I really want to focus on a couple of things. I don't like to ever say, I told you so. But on Monday, I got on the stream and said to everybody, I'm bearish everything except silver. That was really the direction that we were going. Now, since Monday, Bitcoin has come down. The indices have also come down. NASDAQ, US 30, US 500, and silver is up since Monday. Big day yesterday, and we're looking for follow through today. Silver, we found support at about 18.5, 17.5, two strong zones beneath us. Also some more short-term support at 19. And now using that 19 support to push us to 19.7 was a pretty easy read. Also with the 8 EMAs over the 21 EMA, that fed into that idea as well. So again, I don't want to be like I told you guys so, but these reads are reactive. So when markets are moving and we are reacting, normally we're right. When we're forecasting, normally we're wrong. I'll talk about that today a lot, the forecasting versus the reacting. If you have any questions as I go, please put them in the question box. I have that pulled up so I can answer any of those questions for you guys. We're going to just quickly start with Bitcoin. So the main support zone that we've been watching on Bitcoin is down here, set way back in June. That support zone, I talked to you guys about this, that support zone has been held. And what I think you see here in the aftermath of this push off 19,000 back up to 20,000, what we see is shorts being trapped. You have people that don't understand how to trade breakouts and they end up getting short here before this level is broken. The way to trade the Bitcoin breakout to the downside on the longer term, on the higher time frame, is you're waiting for the breakout and then you're trading the retest before the move lower here. That's the trade you'd be looking for, something like that. So what most people do is instead of waiting for that, they get in early, and that's why they get trapped and now get stopped out as it moves higher against them. We don't fall for that. We react. So on the higher time frame here, Bitcoin, which follows the indices, is starting to pull back to the 8 EMA, but still has not broken underneath the 8, which is not bearish. I also wouldn't say it's a super strong bullish sign, but it is not bearish yet. If we look at the indices this is the daily time frame still, the indices to me are in a position where we might see them continue to head lower. That's what I said on Monday, because we've pulled back off that low set on the 13th of October. We've pulled back against this bear market about 12%. And so far, since the start of the year, each one of these pushes higher, each one of the bullish rallies in this bear market has been about, on average, 12 to 14%. So considering the fact that we are at the average pullback point and that we have today, if you look at Forex Factory, we have the Fed funds rate probably going up to 4%, if not 4.25, which is going to shake up markets. Then tomorrow we have GBP monetary rate, them announcing interest rate hikes to 4% as well. And then Friday we have NFP. So there's a lot of news this week that would be probably bearish. So you're at the average distance of a bullish rally. You have fundamental news that's probably going to be bearish to send you lower. Both of those together to me said that this would be a good week to be more short than long. Now, because I'm more short than long on US 500 and NASDAQ and US 30, that's going to create a possible short bias in Bitcoin that we could start to see a pullback to the 21 EMA to 20,000. That wouldn't really surprise anybody. What would be more surprising is if Bitcoin decides to shoot through that 21 EMA and go right back to 19,000. That would surprise, I think, more people. But with this news coming today, this is the most important news event every single time it comes around. Every month that we have this, last month we didn't get a rate, but most months we do get a rate adjustment. Whenever there's a rate adjustment, especially for the US dollar, 2 o'clock today Eastern time, it's going to be fireworks. The market is going to be volatile. Let's just look for reference so you can see. September 21st, August, excuse me, was the month where we did not have the hike. So let's go back and look at like September 21st, July 27th, just so you can see what the market does on that day. So September 21st was right here. That bar right there. So that was the last rate hike. That's when rates went from 2.5 to 3.25, a 75 basis point hike. So that day from the open, not from the high to the low, but that day from the open to its close, we dropped about 2%. 2% down today would send us back through the 21 EMA. So if we go at the same rate hike, and it is not priced in yet, which again, that's a totally different conversation. We're not even going to go there. We could see similar movement. Let's go back and look at July. July 27th. Let's find that one right here. So this is July 27th. Whoops. So that's your July hike. July, we went from 1.75 to 2.5. So again, another 75 basis point hike. But on that day, markets went up. Very interesting. Now let's take a look at the previous one. June 15th, we went from 1 to 1.75, another 75 basis point hike on June 15th, which is right here. So on that day, you can see we were bullish as well. So out of the last 3 days where we've had hikes, and we could go back to May and March if we wanted to, but on the last 3 days, June 15th, July 27th, and then September 21st, out of those 3 days, only one of them is bearish, which is very interesting. So now this can bring up the question about that forecasting and reacting. If we're forecasting, we're going to say, okay, the last rate hike was 75 basis points. It sent us lower. This one's going to do the same thing. That's forecasting, right? A lot of what most people do, I think, is forecasting instead of reacting. But reacting, if we look at the last 3 hikes, 2 of them, we were bullish, even though we were at forecast. Those hikes, we expected 0.75 on this one and only 0.5 on this one. We came out above and still market went up that day. So today, with that news coming out, the fact that we're above the 8 EMA tells me that we could see a bullish candle. We definitely could. It's definitely in the cards, but to guess which direction it's going to go is really tough, because if you look at the last 3 hikes, it's very hard to say, does this news push us up or push us down? Is it priced in or is it not priced in? Is there other factors coming into play? So on a active trading basis, I am flat going into the news today, and I'll hopefully be able to find trades tomorrow and Friday. The 2 o'clock news today, like I said, is going to be what shakes things up. Does that pull Bitcoin down? Well, if the indices come down today, yeah, I think Bitcoin would pull lower as well. But if the indices hold higher, Bitcoin could hold this 8 EMA and continue up. So the bearish bias to start the week, Monday to Tuesday into today, was the right call. Now, with the news coming in today at 2 o'clock, the better call is to wait and react, not forecast what this news is going to do. All right. To look over at silver, if we go to the shorter time frame, let's just take it down to the 15-minute. A lot of consolidation today. If you look at this between the high of day set in the Asian session here, and then really you can kind of look back and see this whole level as the bottom from yesterday, where it started to slow down after a big run up yesterday, right? With this basing off like this, the way that I would read this, and again, I am bullish on silver, whichever way it breaks out, look to trade retests of that breakout. So now here that we move to the upside, I'd be looking to trade retests long back towards 20. We're at 19.7, 20 is definitely in the cards. So that's the way that I would look to play silver. And that I think can continue through the rest of the week. However, at 2 o'clock, silver is going to shake. You'll see silver will still get volatile. If we look back, what were the dates again? It was September 21st. So let's just go back to September 21st on silver and see what the 15-minute looked like. That's the 21st. Where is it? Right there. So you can see it comes at the end of the day, big bar, 230, and then it comes all the way back down to the Asian session. So even silver gets shaken up. Let's see Bitcoin. Can we go back to Bitcoin on that day? September, what was it? There it is, 21st. Look at Bitcoin volatility on that day. So Bitcoin was like rising all day, looked bullish, and then the news comes in at 2:30. Or here, this actually happened at 2 o'clock. What is it? Oh yeah, the news comes in at 2 o'clock. The press conference is at 2:30, right there. So the news is at 2. instantly just tanks Bitcoin, sends it the opposite way. It bounces and then just follows through and heads lower all day through the evening. So even Bitcoin gets shaken up. And then I'll show you here just to so you can see it's everything. It's not just some assets. Look at that. That was the last rate hike. Shook up the market. Market finished way lower, and then it fell for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, basically 5, 6, 7, basically the whole next week. To this point, if we look at even gold on that Wednesday, very volatile. So everything's going to move today. If you're not willing to take big pullbacks today against any trades you're in, I would recommend getting out of your trades before the 2 o'clock news. Okay. So beyond that, to set us up going into the rest of the week, I talked about the FOMC today. We have NFP on Friday. If you pull up Forex Factor, you can look ahead and see. First, we have GBP monetary news tomorrow morning. They're going to hike rates 75 basis points. Then CAD has its unemployment rate Friday morning. Same time, we have the non-farm employment change and the unemployment rate on the USD. So 8:30 Friday morning, definitely going to be volatile. Tomorrow could be volatile as well. You have 8 a.m. news on the on the pound. That's going to be definitely important. I don't know if it's going to shake up indices, but it definitely could. GBP is important. Then you have 8:30, the speech coming from Governor Bailey. Then you have PMI again. This is services PMI, not manufacturing PMI. This comes out at 10 a.m. during the session. So a lot of news tomorrow and Friday. This is a news-filled week. The first week of the month is very news-filled. But depending on how this news comes out today, tomorrow, and even Friday, that is going to determine how we trade the rest of the month. So to leave you with a few ideas going into the rest of the week, I like Bitcoin short. If we just do some technical analysis here on the 15-minute, and I'm not a technical analysis like super fanboy, but you can just see how these channels here and here have been, watch, you break, retest the channel, move lower, break, retest the channel with that pin, and now moving lower. With the L50, this is our sentiment indicator at the bottom here, with that falling into the sell zone under a 50 value, that tells me that we could head lower today for sure. We're in a downshift, 8 EMA is under the 21. That tells me, again, it wants to head lower short term. Now, when the news comes in, what's going to happen? Well, news could shoot it up and then finish it lower. News could shoot it down and then finish it higher. It's very unpredictable. So just keep that in mind. S&P looks very bearish today. After the sell-off yesterday, we had some USD news come in, sold off yesterday and never came back. So now what I'm gonna guess here is you're sitting at this consolidation zone here and here. I doubt we break out and make a big move in either direction of those two prices before 2 o'clock. That's 38.46, and on top it's 38.70. I doubt we make a move out of there right now. If you look, NASDAQ looks like it's consolidating, and this is typically what I've seen. If you look at yesterday's low right there, you can see consolidating in the same zone it got stuck in yesterday. US 30, same thing. It really hasn't moved past what it's done yesterday. So for now, if you are not in any trades, I would probably, if you take anything, be ready to get out of it by 2 p.m. Eastern time. And then tomorrow, be ready to come in and dodge some news in the morning. And then Friday, same thing. On a higher time frame, if we get off a 15-minute and look at a 1 hour or even a 4 hour, see Bitcoin's in a short-term uptrend, but it is now in a downshift there. Or excuse me, this is NASDAQ. It's going to look the same as Bitcoin. Bitcoin's just kind of based out. It's in a downshift now. It's tough to say what news is going to do. But I think for this week, we've had some really easy reads short-term on Monday and Tuesday to the downside following that movement. Yesterday, that bearish bias I called for you guys on Monday, if you kept that bias through yesterday, there was a ton of money to be made to the downside. All right. So to wrap up here, going into news today, everything does look like it wants to move lower. Bitcoin on the indices. Silver continues to be bullish, up 1.3% today after a big run up yesterday. This was again an easy read we called from the daily time frame. So now let this bias continue until 2 o'clock today. At 2 o'clock today, some stuff is going to happen where it could change trend for the entire week. Reassess after the 2 o'clock and really the 2:30 press conference today. That's the way to trade. But short term this week, we've been making money to the downside. I hope you guys are able to take advantage of that with me. I hope you're learning here as we go through. And if you have any questions, again, please never hesitate to reach out to me or 8cap. We're more than happy to answer those for you guys. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed to the 8cap YouTube channel. I'll be live Monday morning next week. We'll set ourselves up for a really strong week of trades after the news. We'll see how this NFP comes out on Friday. We'll see how the Fed funds adjusts rates today. And then we'll see how the GBP adjusts rates tomorrow. And then, like I said, Monday, we'll be able to make some really good decisions. So I appreciate you guys being here with me. If you have any questions, like I said, reach out to me or 8cap. Make sure you're subscribed to the 8cap YouTube channel. And I'll see you guys on Monday. Happy trading.